Hello, everyone. I apologize in advance that you guys will all have to deal with my voice, but today I just want to give you a introduction into the DRS, which is a society which was founded in DIMC for the purpose of connecting students and professors with each other so that they can mutually benefit. This all started because we didn't really have very many resources available to us at our university to guide us on how to get started with research practically. And I wanted a way to disseminate information effectively and efficiently. So I thought I would create a big group chat. And whenever I found anything out, I would just record or send a message out into the group chat so that everybody else would be aware of it. But the group chats got very big and we decided that we could do something more with it. And so that was me and Rafael Osman who started this. And then later, Rafael Abbasi got involved and he expanded this into much, much more with many different departments that help in the functioning, background tasks, education, logistics, many departments, which are all available on our Instagram page. And you may also ask any one of us once you get our contact and once you enroll or register. And we'll get into all of that as well. We also have a faculty group chat for the faculty at DIMC, which have very generously volunteered themselves to be part of this and help us get more students into the research field. What we hope to do is introduce students who don't have as much experience and probably have more time on their hands, introduced with other students who have more experience and professors who have more experience. But of course, as a natural consequence of having more experience, they usually have less time. But by bridging this gap, we can increase the research literacy across our entire student body and hopefully even more universities across Pakistan. So how to navigate the DRS? First, you would want to register yourself into the DRS using the registration link to become an official member. I'll try to attach the registration link in the description. Otherwise, you may also email us at our official email address, and we can get in contact with you and send you that registration link. At the end of the registration Google form, you will receive a link to join the WhatsApp group, which is going to be the announcements group, and you'll get important updates over there. After you join the announcements groups, you want to think about what research do you actually want to do. Just take some time and really piece together what you envision yourself studying or publishing. For beginners, I recommend either a letter to the editor, case report, observational studies, and these terms might be unfamiliar to you, but we will go into these in more detail in subsequent lectures. The next thing that you want to do after you join the announcements group is to contact the group admin, who will provide you the department matching form if you would like to be connected to a professor. The reason why you need a professor is because a professor supervises your project. And the reason why you need that is because if you want to have your piece get published in any reputable journal, you need to have the credentials there. The committee leader of your respective department is somebody who is appointed over a specific department, for example, cardiology. So if you want to do research in cardiology, you can join the committee leader of cardiology's group and they can give you more specific advice on where to go from there. And the committee leader, well, you can contact the committee leader or the committee leader will contact you if you've filled out the department matching form, possibly. And you can also come to them with specific questions about how to go about your research or how to formulate your research idea. Once cleared, you will be introduced to a professor and they will guide you further regarding your project. So we've kind of touched on this already. A DRS committee leader is sort of somebody who you can contact first and use to help you formulate your idea, what study you want to do, how to do the study that you want to do, where to begin, how to fill an IRB form, all these kind of questions. You can approach a committee leader and they should be willing to help you. If they don't have the answer to your question, they can always reach out to somebody who has more experience and get you connected with them or learn for themselves how to help you better. So essentially, you'll want to fill the general registration form. And then after you fill the general registration form and join the link, you can either, if you know the committee leader, contact them directly or fill the department matching form, and you will eventually be connected to the committee leader who can answer your specific questions, or perhaps through the matching department, you can be connected to the professor directly, depending on how far along you are with your idea. Because essentially you will want to know your procedure before you approach a professor. because the professors would rather prefer somebody who has an idea of what they want to do and a vision, because usually the professors will not have something on hand to give you. They might, but we'll go into that later, and it's just not their preference to deal with. Another thing that you should be aware of is the NDA form. This is a form that should be completed by every student just to ensure that everybody will be held accountable for protecting the information of the professors, who sometimes even get out their numbers because they're very generous and trusting of us. So we need to respect that trust and respect the professor's privacy by protecting their personal information and the information regarding whatever project you guys are working on together. Again, we've touched on this already. A mentor is needed for IRB approval and for publishing in reputable journals. This is pretty much common sense. Be courteous with your professors. They're very busy, and try to work as independently as possible. If there's a question that you can Google or a question that you can ask your research committee leader, please do that before you try to approach your professors, just to reduce the burden on them. And this is just a tip for communication. Designate one person in your group of students, who are your research group, to be the leader and responsible for contacting the professor. So that, because what happens is, if there's multiple people in one group all asking the professor sometimes the same thing, essentially, the professor might word it in different ways to different people or in different contexts, and it can cause a lot of confusion. So there are two options. You can start with your original research, which is much more preferred by most professors, or you can assist with an ongoing research, which is not as preferred, and professors usually only prefer students who they have experience working with for this option. So, and we'll go into both of these later as well. But in terms of original research, the best kind of research designs for beginners include letter to the editor, which is much shorter, doesn't have as much weight, but is very easy, very quick, and very, again, because it's very easy, it's perfect for a beginner. And again, we'll go into all of these kind of designs in more detail in subsequent lectures as well. A case report, the name explains it pretty much. A case series, it's kind of just multiple case reports glued together. Observational studies, just like what it sounds. Again, we'll go into the specifics in subsequent lectures. And meta-analysis, which is a bit harder, but has much more weight. And one thing not listed here, which is also very good for beginners, is cross-sectional research, cross-sectional surveys for beginners, just because it doesn't require very many resources. It just requires a survey. And again, we'll go into these in more detail later. Ongoing research, what I mean is that some professors have research that they have already compiled, have already worked on, and know which direction they want to go with, but they just haven't had the time to actually write it or publish it, follow the procedure for publishing it. So sometimes they want students to help with the writing or the collecting of data, corresponding with publishers, etc., the grunt work, so to speak. So that would be all for today. Thank you so much.